Hey guys, so welcome back. So first and foremost, I got a little haircut, just a little trim, and then I also got my roots blended. So shout out to my cousin for being amazing. So yeah, I just want to point that out just in case you guys didn't notice. Now you do. Now you know. So for today's video, I actually, as you can read by the title, I did what every other YouTube in the world has done, and I filmed a look using the Jaclyn Hill palette. And this is what came of it. So yeah, if you guys want to see how I achieve this look, just keep on watching. I'm going to take the Maybelline Instant Angel Wine Concealer in Translucent, and I'm going to use that as a base for my eyeshadow. With the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush, I'm going to go ahead and blend that out. Alright, so with the Flower E01 brush, I'm going to go ahead and take Charmer right here. And I'm going to use that to set that concealer. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take this baby right here, and I'm going to do this eye. I'm first going to start out with this shade right here, this kind of like a mustard yellow type of shade. And I'm going to go ahead and use that as a transition shade. I'm going to take this Duo Fiber Eye Brush from Real Techniques. I'm going to take a little bit of that and just blend it on my outer corner too. Just to make it easier to blend all the other shades that we put on top. Alright, so with a Crown Pointed Crease Brush, I'm going to go ahead and take this color right here. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that on my crease. I don't necessarily want a lot of this color. I just want to blend it in there just so there can be kind of a connection between our transition shade and then our main crease shade, which is this kind of reddish color. You guys, worrying about lighting is like a constant struggle for me. So like, as always, if it's like off in some way, shape, or form, I'm so sorry. It's just, not my expertise. I'm going to take this Morphe M513 blending brush. This is just a clean blending brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just blend those two shades together. I'm going to go back in with that transition shade, that yellowish shade, same brush, and I'm just going to apply a little more. Eyeshadow's going to be very like repetitive for me, just because like I'm so weird about making sure that they're blended as good as possible that like it takes me a million years doing a million steps almost. Again, I'm going to go back in with that brown crease shade, just a little more. It's so hard for me not to use like a little mirror like this, because usually when I'm doing my eyes I'm like this. So it's really hard, but gotta do what you gotta do to get that footage. Next, with a Morphe M412 brush, this is just kind of like a pointed crease brush. I'm going to go ahead and take this reddish shade right here. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that on my crease, mainly focusing it like directly on the crease. And I'm going to start on the outer corner, placing it right on the crease, and I'm going to go ahead and blend it in. I'm placing it directly on the crease, but I'm kind of resting the brush on the lid a little bit. But the reason why I'm kind of resting my brush on my lid is because I'd rather any like excess product be on the lid where I can cover it up rather than like above my crease where it's harder to blend. And then once that's placed, I'm just going to go back and forth in windshield wiper motions and blend that in. So before I start blending kind of the edges of this color, I just want to really make sure that this color is kind of evenly distributed on the crease. So that's why I'm just kind of going back and forth in the same angle of the brush on my crease before I start blending. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up just a little more of this shadow, but what I'm going to do with the brush at this point is I'm going to point it down a little bit. The reason why I want to do this is because typically whenever you pick up a color, an eyeshadow with a brush, you're picking it up at the tip. So you want to point the tip and the, I guess, the area in which you want the color to be placed. In this case, I want it on the crease, so I'm going to point the tip on the crease, but then I'm going to use the kind of end of this brush where there's no product at all. I'm going to use that to kind of blend the edges outward, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use that to just kind of diffuse those edges and it be beautifully blended out. Did that make sense? I have no idea, but I don't know. Nobody ever like told me that specifically. It's just something that I always heard every like YouTuber say, to point the brush down whenever you're blending shadows, and I never knew why until one day it just kind of hit me. So yeah, if you didn't know, now you know. Alright, and then once that's kind of blended out and most of the product is off the brush, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of pull that product out just a little bit. Oh, pull the color out just a little bit. I can't talk. If you guys haven't learned that about me already, I mix up my words so easily, it's not even funny. Just imagine me when I'm nervous. It's crazy. Actually, I'm going to go back in with that transition shade just a little bit. And apply that at the top. Just to make sure that we don't lose that color, because I still want it. And then to be repetitive, I'm going to go ahead and take that first crease color, that brownish color that we did. I'm going to go ahead and place a little bit of that just right below where we did the transition. So for our lid color, I'm going to go ahead and take this beautiful gold shade right here. I don't know what brush this is, but I'm going to just show you guys a little close up just so you know what it looks like. It's just kind of like a fluffy shader brush. So I'm going to pick up that shade with this brush. I'm going to pack a good amount on there. Well, not a good amount. I mean, just like your typical amount, I guess. Because the thing about these shadows, they're literally so pigmented that you do not need that much. But I'm going to go ahead and take some rose water spray and I'm going to spray that brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it in the center of my lid and then just go ahead and blend. I think I sprayed too much. I'm going to fill that blank space first. And then obviously going in with a shadow as I need it. Once that blank space of my lid is filled, I'm going to go ahead and bring the shadow up and to like meet my crease. And I like to bring it almost just like very slightly above, just so it looks like I have a lot more lid space than I really do, you know? It's all about illusions, people. And it's okay if you're covering up some of the crease, because obviously we're going to go back in with a million more colors. Well, the same colors, just a million more times. Do you guys see how beautiful this shade is? I mean, all the shades in this palette are beautiful, but like, it's just, they're just so pigmented and lovely. So once I've applied that, I'm going to go back in with that red shade, that crease color, and I'm going to apply a little bit, I mean on the crease, but you know, any product that we've either lost or that we've kind of covered up, I'm just going to reapply it and redefine it. And this will also help blend that lid color with the crease colors. Now it's just a matter of kind of going back and forth until all my colors are blended together and flow very nicely together. So I'm going to actually stop applying any more shadow into my eyes just because it looks pretty good right now. I'm going to apply some mascara and I'm going to apply some lashes, my 614 lashes from Salon Perfect, as per usual. And then obviously if we need to add any more, we will, but we'll do it after our face is done just so we can see if we actually do need to add any more or not. Let me do that and I shall be right back. So a few days ago I pulled out literally all of my lashes from like here to here. Besides like there's like a few in the middle. but there's literally bald spots right there. So like trying to blend like false lashes into those areas is, it just doesn't happen, you know? It's just not happening for me. So like this eye, oh, it's just, We're gonna move on though. We accept these challenges that come upon us. I'm gonna move on to the rest of my face right now while these eyelashes are drying and such. I'm gonna spray some rose water spray on my face just because it's been a while since I applied primer. So just to refresh my face a little bit. And speaking of primer and such, I did already apply that off camera. I took the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. Yeah. It's not Photo Finish, it's Photo Water Primer. Then I took a little bit of this Milk Makeup Blur Stick and I put that like in the center of my face basically. I just kind of like boom, boom. First things first, I'm going to take, just because I want glowiness always, I'm going to take some of these Sephora Luminous drops and I'm going to apply those anywhere I would typically highlight. And I'm going to blend that. For foundation, I actually have not decided what foundation I want to use. Let me test out some colors here, people. Oh, that actually matches really well. I haven't used this on camera yet, so I think I'm going to use this. So for foundation, I've decided to use this LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade Warm Beige. I've been using this like the past 2 days, I think. And it's pretty good. I mean, this color is like a little questionable, but it looks good at the end, but just like in the beginning it's a little questionable, so beware of that. I'm going to take a little bit on my sponge and I'm going to start with my cheek. Do you see what I mean? Like, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but like in person it looks so dark, but it does blend in with my skin very nicely, or with my body very nicely. I think I'm gonna take my the Age Rewind concealer. This is in translucent, or this is in neutralizer, and I'm gonna use this as my concealer. I literally hate this little thing. I feel like it gets rid of my foundation when I'm doing this, and it's really annoying. I'm gonna take my sponge and blend this out. So I totally didn't do it with this eye just because like it's something new that I'm trying out, but I'm trying out to blend my concealers from the edges first, working in instead of like going from in, going out. The reason for it is because I need a lot more coverage in this general area, so I'm hoping that by working in, like maintaining that coverage right there. I'm not necessarily moving that product from over there, if that makes sense. And then I am going to apply just a little more right in the center, just because I feel like, again, I lose a lot of the coverage. Before I move on to anything, I'm going to go ahead and quickly set my under eye area by taking the Dermablend setting powder. So I picked up 2 of these LA Girl Pro Concealers. These are like for contouring purposes. I picked up Beautiful Bronze, which is like their darkest shade, and then I also picked up Toffee. So I'm going to use these to contour. I'm going to try these out. I know that I don't like these as concealers, or at least like back when I tried them I didn't like them. So I'm going to see how they do as like contour sticks or contour creams, whatever. I think I'm going to use Beautiful Bronze just because look how dope that color looks. I don't know if it's too dark though, so we'll see. Holy darkness. That is really dark. But I am going to apply a little bit of this because I'm crazy. Holy shit. You know what? No, that's not too dark. It's fine. Yeah, I'm going to apply a little bit and then apply more as needed. Let me try it out with this baby, with my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. You guys already know how I feel about this brush. So let me try blending this out. Yeah, that color's fine. But it looks to be dry. No, maybe not. I was gonna say it looks to be drying out faster, but it's blending out pretty nicely still. Ooh, that might be too red. Yup, yup, yup. I think this is too red. And it is actually drying out a little bit. It's blending, but it is drying. Wow, I put a lot on my forehead. Hello. I put so much on my forehead. Bro, stop. I'm gonna go in with my beauty sponge just to pick up some of that product and blend it out a little better. Beautiful bronze shade is a little bit more on the red side, which I don't typically prefer. It's still a very beautiful shade, and I feel like I think maybe once it's completely like settled into my skin, then it'll look fine, but it is a little more on the red side. I'm now going to start setting everything. I'm going to first start out with the Airspun powder. This is in Naturally Neutral. I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to go ahead and lightly bake. I'm going to go in with the Real Techniques powder brush and I'm just going to set the areas where I didn't bake and kind of almost going in a little bit, but leaving the area in which I want the most highlighted. These other parts I don't really care. And then all the other parts that aren't right here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the bake because it's not that important. Just more so want a little highlighting in there, just because that's like my darkest spot, you know, under my eyes, my bags. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and work on my lower lash line a little bit. I'm going to take the Sigma Blending E25 brush and I'm going to take that yellow shade, apply it just, you know, on my lower lash line. Next, with the Real Techniques shading brush, I'm actually going to go ahead and take this color right here, which is next to the red, you know, and I'm going to apply that just so I can have a little shimmer, a little oomph down there. As I applied it on, this color isn't looking much different than our crease color. I think it's just because one is being applied dry, so it's not as metallic, but two, it's like the brush that I'm applying with is kind of changing it a little bit in my head. That's how it is. Then I'm going to go back in with a Sigma brush and that yellow color, very lightly, going right underneath it. For our inner corner color, I'm going to take this second color in the palette right here. I'm going to take it dry and apply some in my inner corner. So I'm going to go ahead and dust off this powder with the Sigma tapered highlighting brush. I just like to push it in there, like push the product into the skin while kind of, it'll take it off, but it's, I don't know, I just like doing this better than brushing it off. And then take my Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and I'm going to go ahead and take it with the Real Techniques Dual Fiber Face Brush and just apply that where you typically would apply a bronzer. For highlighter, I'm going to go ahead and take my Laura Geller Gelato Swirl Illuminator palette, and I'm obviously going to take Gilded Honey in that palette. But I'm going to take it with this Morphe 218 brush on the top of my cheeks. I'm going to go in with my Smashbox fan brush with that same highlighter and apply it again tops of my cheeks. This is going to apply a more kind of all over glow. And I love using this brush for up here because it applies product right here so beautifully. 10 out of 10 recommend a fan brush. Alright, so I'm also going to take some of that highlighter and apply it on my décolleté area. For blush, I'm actually going to take this little Trifle Cosmetics Raspberry Ripple blush palette. It's like, I got this in my Ipsy bag. It's just like a little mini blush palette. I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to take these two end colors right here, not this bright pink one, just these two. I'm going to apply a little bit. Next, I'm going to take this Laura Geller Blackbird eyeliner and I'm going to tightline. I'm going to take the Accelerator Mascara by, is this Rimmel? Yeah, by Rimmel. And I'm going to apply a little bit on my lower lashes. For lips, I'm going to take an old favorite combo of mine, and that is the NYX lip liner in Nude Truffle with the MAC lipstick in Myth, and I'm going to apply that on the lips. So this is a little more gray than I expected it to be. So I'm going to take the NYX lip liner in Urban Cafe. I'm going to take some of the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. This is in Athens. I'm going to take a little bit of this over it. Lastly, I'm going to go ahead and take my Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray and I'm going to spritz my face to set everything and to make everything better. I couldn't think of the words. And that kind of completes the entire look, you know, nothing crazy, just something really simple, but yet like, you know. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to be, you know, notified whenever Brie or I drop a new video. And I think that's it for me. Bye guys.